This is day 2 of my new diet.
Distance 1.17 miles.
My
average pace 17 minutes.
keeper.
0.2 seconds per mile. Current split pace 17 minutes 31 seconds per mile.
So you get some information on what I'm doing. I've done this many times. Lost a lot of weight, gained it back, just like everybody else. I'm hoping this time to make it last. I weighed in yesterday. That was my first day. Today's actually my second day. And I was at 253 pounds, which frankly is the most I've ever weighed in my entire life. I'm 58. It's getting more difficult to lose the weight and keep it off. I used to be able to lose it pretty easily, and unfortunately it came back because my eating habits weren't very good. So my plan is for the next 7 months to go from 253 to 180. In fairness, I've tried that same thing before, probably 3 years ago. The closest I got was 203. I haven't been in what Chris Powell calls the 100 Club since, oh my goodness, probably 2003. So, what is that? Over 15 years ago. My plan this time, pretty simple. Nothing's special. Exercise and diet. I am doing 2 things. One is I'm intermittent fasting, which I've kind of looked online, and that seems to be something that might be beneficial, and more importantly, something that kind of fits in with lifestyle. I don't have any problem not eating breakfast. Breakfast has never been an important meal for me. And I'm also pretty good at fasting when I need to. In this case, it's not really fasting. It's sleeping in the morning, sleeping and then the morning worth of non-eating. So I'll be able to eat between 12 and 8. I did it yesterday. Frankly, I think I ate too much. The second thing I'm going to do is try to stay under 1,500 calories. Again, looking online, it looks like my caloric intake should be around 2,500 calories a day. So this is obviously a 1,000 calorie deficit. I think that's, for me anyway, kind of moderate, and that's what I'm trying to do for this month of April. I'm just trying to kind of be moderate about it. I'm walking instead of running. I'm usually a runner. And I'm probably going to continue that for the whole month. My wife and I are in a weird situation right now. We're actually at my parents' house, who have recently actually passed away. And we're going to be fixing up their house and selling it. But we're also here during the coronavirus pandemic, so we're kind of hunkering down here, trying to limit being outside with other people. Obviously, I'm outside right now. It's kind of a little bit more out in the outskirts of the town, kind of a suburb. You can kind of see what I'm walking through right now. Kind of soul out here, so hopefully that's a little bit safe as far as that goes. So like I said, the goal is 180. That's 73 pounds in 7 months, November 1st. I picked November 1st because my brother-in-law and I have a little bet on a half Ironman race. So that'll be a little bit of a motivator. He's kind of in the same shape I am. We've done a few races before, and he won the first one, and I won the second one, and the third one, which was going to be the tiebreaker, he had to back out on the last minute because he didn't realize his son was graduating that day. So of course he had to be at the graduation, graduating from the Explorers Fire Academy, not his high school graduation, but he needed to be there, and that's why I was able to run the race and he wasn't there. So yesterday, as I said, I weighed in for the first time. Actually, that's not true. I'll be fair. One of the little tricks I've learned that can be motivating, at least for me, is I actually weigh in the night before I start my diet. Yes, I've done this before. My wife calls it cheating, but probably is. But it can be motivating because obviously you weigh more then, and then I don't weigh again until the second morning. So it gives me a little bit of maybe a truer representation of, how much did I weigh? Obviously, I'd lose some weight during the night while you're sleeping. So it kind of shows what my max was. Anyway, I weighed this morning, and it was 246, which I knew it would be. I knew it would drop considerably. I've actually had it drop. I remember one time I dropped 13 pounds once. So I've kind of learned some things. One is I really don't want the weight to drop off too quickly. It's been my experience, both negatively and positively, that the quicker it drops off, the faster it seems to come back. So I want it to kind of come off gradually, but if you do the math on that, that's about 10 pounds a month on average. So I'd be pretty happy with that. I know this month, my guess is, if I had to guess, I'd say I'd drop between 15 and 20 pounds. But that's the easy part. Like I said, I've already dropped, 7 pounds in just one day. So, like I said, I've done this before, so I know kind of what's going to happen, how it works. It's when I get down, the hardest part for me is when I get down into the low 200s. And when I was younger, it was a different weight. And I start feeling good. My clothes are a little looser. I start thinking about buying different clothes. And that's when, quite frankly, I lose it. Because then I'm like, okay, well, I guess I can't have this or that food that's bad for me or whatever. It's a trick that's been pulled on me many times. So I want to be prepared for that. So what I'm trying to do is kind of plan ahead, maybe month by month, switching things up. For instance, I don't know for sure because I still want to look more into it, but I'm thinking next month in May, I want to start, if I can, depending on the situation, if we're still here, if we're back at the house, at our house, I want to try not intermittent fasting, keto diet. I was thinking about starting that for this month, but frankly, I just don't know enough about it. Not so much because I do watch a few YouTube channels with Thomas Delar, who's very informative about the keto diet and how it works and what foods you can eat and all those kinds of things. But I still haven't got it down on how I can make it work for me. I'm not one of those kind of people that
Distance
been walking for 30 minutes. That's pretty good.
1.74 miles. Average pace 17 minutes 09 seconds per mile. Current split pace 17 minutes 25 seconds per mile.
I'm not one of those kind of people that looks at every single nutrient and every single gram and things like that. I am actually weighing my portions now, and doing that kind of calorie counting. So that is, I guess, some. But I know with keto, there's the macros and things like that, and so I'm just not completely confident in the how, and more importantly, the how that I can make it work within the confines of my life. I'm sure there's some easy ways out there, or easier ways, but if I do it, I'd like to try to really do it. I know, like for instance, on what I'm doing now as far as eating, which is, there's some elements of keto in it. I'm just, no rice, no bread, no potatoes, no pasta. I'm just really kind of cutting that out completely, and I know that's at least an element of keto. Obviously, I'll do anything, or mostly anything, that will give me a leg up. And if I can, according to keto, if I can use my body in the way it naturally works to help me, then I'm all for it. So my plan is to kind of, as the months go on, kind of plan ahead and maybe do something a little different each month to kind of mix things up, hopefully make things better, whether that's different kinds of exercise or things like that. But we'll see. I feel, like I always do at the beginning of a diet, I'm pretty motivated. I'm staying in the house with my niece and her daughter and my wife, and we've kind of got her on this too. But I don't know how motivated she is, but she was a little worried, like, if you bring in junk food and stuff like that her or her daughter may be eating, which neither one of them should be eating it, but that's not tempting for me, not this early. It might be at the end of the month, but I'm pretty motivated the first 2 or 3 or sometimes even 4 weeks. It's usually after that I really kind of have to, get serious. That's why I'm thinking that maybe, changing the diet a little bit would give me a renewed motivation. I'm planning on trying to do one of these every day, although you've noticed I've already missed the first day. My wife said I shouldn't post one every day, and I may not. Maybe I'll just do them and then put them all together and do them once a week. I'd also like to learn how to kind of edit and things like that. So this really is just for me, but of course if anybody else watches it and gets any kind of motivation from it, then that's awesome too. I've been watching another weight loss vlog on YouTube. It's working things out, and he lost 100 pounds in a year. And the thing that I like about it the most is this guy's kind of like me. He struggled his whole life with it, on and off, but he's probably a little bit younger than me, but still older, and he wasn't a professional athlete or anything like that. He just seems like a kind of an average guy that's kind of been through the same thing I've been through. So I kind of watch his vlog for inspiration, and then I have my other guys on YouTube I watch, like Athlean X. I like him, and he's really good for weightlifting. And then I love Alpha M. He has a lot of nutrition and diet and exercise stuff on there. But what I really watch him for is he's really good for the wardrobe. So when I get a little thinner, I like to look at him to see what kind of clothes to wear and stuff like that. See you tomorrow.